we go. Hello. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So yeah, apologies. I had to cancel the ones that I was going to start last time. Few technical issues that are now solved, hopefully. My internet is unstable, so we'll see how far we can go. Today I was going to go through a simple tutorial to show just how easy it is to make a very simple narrative game. Again, this is very, very simple. You would have to practice to incorporate some extra elements. I will be adding, uh, oh gosh, my brain. So first I'm going to do a quick shout out to Level Her Up. So this is another thing that prompted this session. Next week there is a game jam for women and non-binary folk interested in making games. Beginner level and higher. So this one here is for beginner levels. I am moving forward with the assumption you've got some simple knowledge of Unity, such as the UI and importing packages. If anyone happens to jump in live, you can ask questions and you go, hey, can you actually show me this? And I'm happy to quickly show you. Otherwise, the VOD will go up for those that need to see it in their own time. And you can ask questions anyway. You can jump on Discord and come say hi. Let me quickly put a link to Level Her Up so you can have a check at their website. You can still register to join online or in person. You see now I've lost the whole. Bear with me while I still get used to. Yep, here. It's been a while since I've done the Twitch stuff, so boom, there we go. I'll also pop in my Discord channel. If I can find the notes for that one as well. I'm now realizing I haven't actually got it to show on the for the YouTube video, so it'll be in the comments when it's on YouTube, but at least you can use these ones here. And then I'm going to do a shameless shout out for our game, The Last Werewolf, which had a recent update. I think it was about a month ago. So a light version of Chapter 2 is out, and we're looking for feedback. Okay, cool. So I'm going to jump straight over. Sorry, I've got to get used to doing all this again. Transition over. And so what I'm going to be working with today, so this here Rollerball tutorial, it's really good in teaching you the very simple basics of Unity. So the UI, how to do canvases to put text on the screen, how to put a simple rolling character where the camera follows, pick up coins, so making prefabs as well, but having coins that you pick up, and once you pick up a certain number, then you win the game. So using those simple mechanics, I'm going to go through and show you how to make a narrative game, and it's a fetch quest. So go talk to this person, get a thing, come back. So very, very simple, but it's just showing how you can use this as a foundation. And then again, as I mentioned, building those skills as you go along. So let me bring up Unity. Here is something I prepared earlier. Now I do want to apologize because obviously it's a lot smaller on the screen to what you can see. So again, ask any questions if you've got any, and I'll try my best to actually describe what I'm doing at the same time. Okay, cool. So I've got my little player that I'm going to bring back in a minute. So a couple of things that I've already imported. So this one I will actually quickly show because not a lot of people have seen it. Package manager is where you can go and, whoops, it's popped up on the other screen. 1 second. Yep. we can actually go through and all the assets you've added to your library, they'll go into the package manager. You just need to make sure you click assets up here. And then you can search. I'm not going to show you my whole library. And then you just import it. And these are packages that have already got the code for you. Everything's in there. You can also just do 3D models. I've got an example one today, which is a Cinti pack, and we're going to actually use one of their scenes already set up, unless I feel inclined to quickly make our own, but it will be a lot quicker to do it that way. So I'm going to show you also how to set up, you saw in the package window that was there, how to set up a simple character controller using Unity's third-person character controller, and the camera will follow. I'm keeping it very, very simple again, but you'll have a look at all the features in the inspector, which is over here, and it gets very complicated. So at least with a video that you can go back to, you can rewind and go again. Cool. So in here, I've got my Cinti pack with all my 3D models. This is this scene that I played with already. And this is where our third-person controller is. So it's starter assets and then Uni technologies, as I showed you in the website. So they've already got all the bits and pieces set up. So you don't have to. In here, they'll take you through it individually, but you can just get the whole pack here. I'm not going to teach you complex coding. I'm going to teach you the very simple coding where most of it's going to be copy paste, and then how to add a couple of additional. But most of what we're going to use is already in the Rollerball tutorial. Cool. And then the third person, you just go to add assets. So you will have to sign up to Unity. I know that there was some issues in the past, but Unity has now fixed a lot of those issues. So do not fear. They are now looking after indies a bit better. Cool. All right, so here's the rollerball tutorial bits and pieces. We're going to play with the scripts. We're going to make our own prefab. I'm not going to use all theirs because I want to show you how to go about it. And yeah, so let's quickly do this one. Very, very simply. Hopefully I get this. Don't make boo-boos. So I do have a plane where you should start. That's not in there automatically. So you would just go 3D model and plane and just make sure it's centered in there. We're going to add some walls so our player doesn't fall off the edge. And to do that, we're just going to chuck some cubes in there. So again, I'm just going to go through this very quickly because I'm going to assume at this point you've already done this kind of basics. I'm making it ugly because I'm just speed running through it. Oh, that's really ugly. Maybe not that ugly. I'm hoping my audio is fine. Let me turn it up actually. Hopefully that's fine. I'll fix it in post. Famous last words. All right. And I'm going to. Okay, so I'm creating an empty object here that is going to be the parent for the walls. Again, apologies racing through this because, again, assuming you know all of this already, we're going to put a sphere for the player for this particular one, and then later we'll adjust. Position negative 0.5. Oh, no, that's right. What are you doing? Oh, no? Oh, 0.5, you silly Billy. There we go. Just go. All right, so there's our player. We're going to rename our sphere to player. And actually, we're going to move it down. I'm going to quickly make some walls. I'm sorry, some color materials for color. This is what I've got, the simple assets one there. So create, ignore the pink. I'm going to show you how to solve that in a minute. Create a material, and I'm just going to go orange. And I'm just going to pull smoothness down so it's not all shiny. Oh God, that is bright. Let's fix that. Yeah, that'll do. All right, and then I think it's blue-ish. So that's complementary, or purple, I think. Purple. It's complementary. Oh, was it? Or maybe not purple. Anyway, we'll just go purple. Why not? A version of purple. And okay, cool. So there's our player. Where's our camera? I deleted the camera. My bad. Here we go. So I'm just going to position the camera to where I want it to see the player. Okay, now I'll slow down a bit and actually go through here because these bits are info we need when changing. So, when you've got your beautiful little camera set up, choose what perspective you like, and then we go down to our rollerball tutorial scripts, and we're going to chuck our camera controller on. Oh, here, look, I'm gonna break it. Yes. Okay. Cool. Sweet. On the camera. And then we're going to drag our player into this section right here. So that way we're assigning it to the appropriate location. So now it knows, hey, whatever position this player is in, this object here, the camera will follow with an offset or whatever information you've got up here as well. So if I hit play, it won't work because I haven't attached the player controller script. Please mind me. Okay, cool. So on our player, we've also got the player controller script. We're just going to add that on there. I'm going to open this up because I want to turn off the text there first before we. Oh, come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. This may be scary to the non-programmers, but everything that's green, you can ignore. They're just notes. So it looks a bit full on at the moment, but I will break it down as to what's happening. Actually, I might, for the sake of it, I'm going to delete all the green because it will look less scary for you lot when following this. But when you have the pack at home, you can keep this up and actually read it individually. So, stop doing that. Yeah, this is fun. I should have prepped this. I didn't realize I've been using a different version of the script that I had used ages ago. So I did not realize this was in here. Okay, this should start looking less scary. There we go. I mean, non-programmers are probably still a bit worried, but when I break it down, it should hopefully not be. All right. Just going to condense that as well. I know what they were doing, but all right. Not as crazy, which is fantastic. I am at, so this here, this section here, so fixed update. So this is going to be it's going to continually run like frame after frame. the start is it only runs once, and that is at the start. So it's not going to repeatedly do anything there. So obviously for movement, in order for it to capture where the next space is, we need constant updates that are occurring. And these here, these are the ones, the on trigger enter. This is what's going to help make your game, your narrative game. So this allows you to interact with a lot of objects in the space by hitting. So on trigger, when you're entering this trigger zone where we set them up, and it's a collider, it's going to hit. We just tell it, hey, if the object we're hitting is called this, can you do all this for me? And everything that goes here just takes time to learn. But Google's very good to help you out there, so do not worry way too much. First time chat. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for dropping by, Kate. I'm assuming that's Kate. Hello, hello. Sweet. Okay. I know next time I'll actually put the chat up in there because I know it can look like on YouTube, like I'm going crazy. But all right, cool. So, and this section here with set count text. So this is what's going to display. So when we run this function, so this is a function here, when we call on this to go, hey, at this point, can you run this function? So rather than chuck it all in here, we go, hey, once you've done these, can you also run these here? Cool. So again, I'll go through bit by bit. For now, I'm going to, I'm on the wrong one on here and I hate it. I think, what's the, see, I keep forgetting the quick function of, oh man, is it shift? No, definitely not. Oh gosh. Awesome. No worries, no worries. Can you remember off the top of your head what the, because I'm in Studio Code instead of the other one where it's like a simple button click, and I keep forgetting what the longer form is. So what I've done is commented this section out anyway. So now when it's green, nothing gets red at all. So that way, if you want to put the notes or the notes that I just deleted, none of that gets read when this script plays, essentially. Programmers in the room, I know you're going to really, really, really hate how I describe a lot of things, but I'm not describing it for you. I'm describing it for newbies. So that way, hopefully they can follow along without the big techno jargon that goes on and over people's head. No offense, but that is a language that slowly builds over time. So yeah, don't call me out on it. I know I'm purposely doing it, just as a heads up. All right, cool. So, and then they should all be okay. Let's make sure it's not going to have a sad. So I'm just saving this. And if I go back to Unity, it will tell me if there's something wrong. So I'm just commenting that bit out so it hopefully doesn't. Actually, it will. It will have an angry. I realize what I did. Turn that off. There we go. See, yeah, it threw it. So hopefully it will fix itself now. Yes, I know. I fixed it. Put this over here. Okay. While it's doing its thing, I technically fixed it anyway. So the thing that I mentioned I messed up where I didn't comment it out. The best thing, Unity tells you, and they actually tell you exactly what line, hey, something's not working in your script. So bring up the console. If it's not up there automatically for you, you just go to Window, General, and Console. This is going to be your best friend if you are brand new to coding. Yeah, just even skilled professionals, it's the best thing. I'm surprised it's not up as default a lot of the time. So going back to it, I mustn't have pressed save in time. So there, I've gone and commented it out. Before I had that, it was saying, look, this doesn't attach to anything because I already closed all those off. So I'll go back. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, 20. My bad. I missed that one. Oh, gosh. See, I've been programming for years and I still make boo-boos. 20. There we go. All right. There we go. Let's go back. Sweet. All right. So we go back to the player section and now it shouldn't have a big sad about these having nothing in there because I'm going to do the canvas after this, not right now. I want to get the player moving first. So first thing you got to make sure is that the speed is up here. And I'll break down the script again in a second. Sorry, I realized I didn't do that. And then make sure, yep, we've set the player on the camera. And now it's not going to work because I forgot once again to put a rigid body on it. All right. Again, this is the best part about Unity. It is actually telling you what the problem is. I'm noticing now it actually tells us. Ages ago it didn't. And I'd be pulling my hair out because I'd forgotten a rigid body. So to add that one, needs to go onto the player itself. And to add it, we go click on the player in the inspector window. Go to add component and type in rigid body. Wonderful. So you don't have to touch anything at the moment. And you can just leave it as is. I'm going to clear that so it's not as scary. And there we go. So this is working with WASD. That's what I'm using. Stop. There we go. And arrow buttons. It's also working. Arrow keys, sorry. Now you will notice the wonderful spinning space that's going there. The other thing that the tutorial goes through that I'm going to show as well. So using parent and children, a part of you would probably think, hey, why can't we just set it as a parent or a child? Sorry. So let me remove that. Where we go? Remove component. And then if I just put the camera as a player, as a child of the player, so children always follow the parents wherever they go. And so if I do that this time, watch out, trigger warning, it might get sick, very sickening. Yeah, so it's following it in the wrong way. This is why we need a separate script in order to track it in a different way. That I'm not going to go into specifics for, so that is more of a build knowledge as you go along. And so if we go back, we're going to put that script back on by going Control Z. There we go. Okay, so that's our player. Our player is now moving, which is fantastic. We can go and adjust the camera. Oh, actually, I just realized something. All right. For those that haven't done this before, as you notice with play, when you are in play and edit stuff, if you do not, you can save one thing, like one component at a time while in play mode. There is a backdoor to be able to save it if something goes wrong, but that's a bit too far beyond what we're doing at the moment. But when something's in play mode, sometimes it's like 20 minutes before you realize and you've been editing that you're in play mode, because once you're out of it, everything you've done in play mode deletes. Again, I'll show you later how you can, in a second, I should say, how you can adjust things in play mode and save one thing. But to help make sure that you do not accidentally stay in play mode, there is a beautiful little feature that Unity has. I do not know why it's not default, If you go to edit and down to preferences, don't do that. Okay, cool. You don't have to embed it, but that was an accident. Go down to colors, and then here, play mode tint. You can change that to whatever you like. I usually go green, and I make it, I think if you go bright, I think I had to go bright green because it dulls it. So if I hit play, oh no. Let me drop it a little bit. It's not too painful. It's going to be harder for you peeps to see at home. Let me go there. Okay, cool. Hopefully on the video people can see this quite well. So now whenever I'm in play mode, I know, hey, while it's green, whatever I'm doing will delete if I get out of play mode. So that's a nice little helpful little tip to have there. And so to show you what I was talking about where you can save one thing, I'll use that example on the camera. So I'm going to go into play mode and I'm going to use play mode to better adjust where my camera is sitting. So here, actually I'm going to hop out. This window, again, I'm assuming you've got this knowledge anyway. This window here is what the players will see when they play your game. I'm going to take it out of free aspect. That was my boo-boo. And it should be 16:9 unless you're doing a different aspect ratio there. And you can make some custom ones as well if you like. So especially if you're making something for the web or a 4x3 or something. And okay, cool. So when I hit play, it's going to be a lot easier for me to now you don't want to adjust for me because you have actually hop out, turn that off. None. Just doesn't want to agree now. There we go. Okay, cool. So I've just turned off the player thing at the moment, and then we'll make our adjustments first. And so say this is how I want my camera angle to be. I'm in play mode. Oops. As I mentioned, you can go and save one thing. And in this case, I want to change the transform, so the position in space. You go to the three dots and go copy component. Now all the data in there is saved. So when I hop out, that will reset. But then I go in here and just paste component values and then it will readjust. Again, only one thing that you can save at a time. I think I haven't played with Unity 6, but I'm going to assume they haven't fixed it. If it has, someone please tell me. That would be great. I'm still using 21.3 because that's when I started my other project, and I haven't installed a new version yet. Okay, sorry. Hydration break. I just realized it was a happy accident. I swear. If I go to, I did a promo for Halloween where I did a giveaway. I was supposed to jump in at 2:00 to have a look because I posted it at 2:04 and I didn't realize, I forgot all about it. So it was perfect timing anyway. So the bot has randomly chosen two people, Steve and Clove. If you can message me privately on DM, that would be awesome. And then I can send out those gift packs to you. So I've got them here ready to go. And yeah, any postal address, as long as it's on the planet Earth, I'm good. Well, as long as you can receive postal services, we're good. Cool. All right. So back to here. All right. So we got our player moving. We've got our camera. Next up, we're going to make our coins. Oh, are you happy now? What are you saying? but it is now. Pretty sure it is now. Let's have a look. No. What are you sad about? No. Whoop. Oh, yes, I know. Okay, cool. So the sad that's happening right now is referring to on the player. Here, these two are empty, and it's just giving you a warning. You can still technically play at this stage because that's where I commented out the other things. So it's not going to halt because I can't find something, but it's sending me an alert at the moment to go, you forgot this. Again, so this is where people new to Unity and programming console, and it will help you as much as you can. And you can actually also Google if it's a little bit complex or like you don't quite understand what's happening. Now we're going to make the coins that the player is going to go and pick up, or the objects. I'm going to make them coins because that's what the tutorial does. So, God, cylinder. Oh, man, my memory. And then go back to my simple assets, create material, and this will be gold. Put some metallic on there. All right, so if I zoom in, this beautiful little green line that you see, that's our collider I was mentioning in the script. So this bit here, the on trigger enter, so it's looking for something like that. And we're going to tell it exactly which objects collider that we're looking for, and that's where we name it. So we're going to name it, I'm going to rename it here actually. So you can call it whatever you like, coin, but because this is a string, okay, I'm gonna do it differently. This will still work that way, by the way. Yeah, brain melting. I'm going to do it differently, so I'm just teaching you variables at the same time. Awesome. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to create a string variable, so you can go and change it into anything you like. Or no, I won't do that. I'm so sorry. I know I'm so indecisive. Not you. But that way I forget you're playing it along with the tutorial, the other one, if you like as well. So we're going to leave it that way. So what it's doing is it's looking for this exactly, this string exactly. So you need to use a capital C. Whatever is between those has to be exactly the same. So if we go into Unity, up here, this is the tag where it was saying compare tag. And we're going to make a brand new one. So you can assign it with one that already exists. So pickup already exists in there, but I'm going to show you how to change it to coin. So that's worked out quite well. So we're going to add a tag. And then over here, it will show you, look, there are two tags made already. So we're going to add a new one where it's the plus. Of course, you're going to do that. Coin, so with the capital, because that's what's in there. Hit save. Now you do need to go back out. This is one of the clunky things, and then go back and assign coin. So now the player moving around is going to look for whatever object has this tag attached. It's not going to work at the moment because the way by default the collider is set up, the player with its rigid body will hit and bounce off, or they will just hit and stop, but you're not going to go through it. In order to turn it into a trigger, so the player will be able to go through the object in this case, there's a nice little checkbox. We're going to hit that. You can make, so this is a nice perfect circle around it. You can edit it if you want to make that space bigger, which is this little edit collider button. And if you zoom in, you'll be able to see these teeny tiny little cubes. Or you can do it down here as well. We're going to do it down there instead. Radius. So you can make it bigger and smaller. So yes, like wherever the green, so it's not just the green line you're hitting, that's just a visual example, and the whole thing's going to be covered, so at any point. Right, so I'm going to go back, so it's a nice feeling there. All right, I'm going to actually make this smaller as well. And there we go. My coin. Now you just need to make sure it's not too high, otherwise the player can't hit it. And I believe there is a rotator script. So this script here is going to allow the coin to spin around. This is just a fun one to have, and it gives you an idea of how the update works as well, and how to play with the transform. This one, I will admit, when I was learning coding, I ignored everything physics-based in code. I just copy-pasted a lot of things. And then as I started feeling comfortable with a lot of programming, then I started feeling comfortable with this kind of code. So do not stress if you see this, because you do not need to learn it straight away, but you need to understand where it needs to go. So anything kind of movement-based, think of it like how film works. Frame, 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 same thing. And update runs frame at a time, one after the other. So keep that in mind. And vector 3 is X, Y, Z. So in space, so X, Y, Z in degrees and in rotation degrees. So now I've popped the rotator script in. I don't need to play with variables. Hit play. Wonderful. So technically it should be able to turn off. Nope. What's missing? What have we done? Did I save it? Hang on. Hang on. Shouldn't matter. Why? All right. Fine. You want to whinge? I'm going to turn you off completely. Doop, doop. And turn you off. So what I'm doing is I'm turning off everything text related. See. Turn that off. Cool. All right. Please stop whinging now. Cool. Awesome. Oop, doing that properly. There we go. Okay, so it hits, and then it will disappear. So if I go back to the script, and I'll explain why it was having issues. So scripts top down, so it will start at the top and go all the way down. And if it hits something it can't do, unless you tell it to ignore it, it will stop and go, whoa, 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 whoa. you wanted me to do a thing and it's not there, and that has a moment, and has a 3-year-old tantrum until you fix it. So make sure you commented it out if you want to debug and test things. And we've got that working. So on trigger enter, which is what we set up, so collider other, if the other game object that we're hitting has coin as a tag, then that other object that we've hit is going to turn off, and it's going to be false. So set active false, this particular section here. You'll use that a lot, and that is referring to, well, not a lot, only if you choose to, but for today's tutorial, we'll be using it a lot. Where are you? There we go. gosh, where are we? Coin, this bit. Okay, cool. So that set active off is referring to this little checkbox here. So if I click on that, it's turning on and off. So if I hit play and do it again, you'll see that it will turn off when the ball hits it. Bam. Cool. So that's pretty much what those lines of code that I want you to do a thing. You can actually go through and say, hey, I want to turn off the mesh. I want to turn off the capsule collider. Takes it's not too long to learn these, but you build up a library of the scripts that you use. You don't have to memorize everything. You will find the more you play with it and type it up, that's when you'll start remembering. So yeah, build that library, and then make games that you feel comfortable making. Or always try and push yourself a little bit, but don't overscope. Keep that in mind. So this is where I'm going to show you the simple. So if we go back over to the script. All right, so we're collecting coins now. But now we want to show that information on there. That means I'm now going to turn off all, bring all these back online. So before I do that, I'm just going to show again. So this here, this here is just referring to turning off. That's it. So when you hit a thing, turn off. Everything here is referring to movement. Like speed and everything going on. So again, this is where I was saying I didn't even bother understanding this until I was comfortable with coding itself. I just knew this is what movement is. I copy paste, and then later, once I was comfortable, then I understood. Cool. So everything else that's commented out is all related to the UI. So we're all going to start opening that back up again now. So deleting all those. So // is what commented out. Turns to green, and it will just ignore everything in that line. Oh, I wish I could remember the command on that one. There is a beautiful command that you hear, and it will just do a whole section instead of having to do each individual line. Just couldn't remember it. Sweet. Don't forget to hit save. One thing I realized I probably should have gone through, because while this is, I expect you to know the basics, I probably should have not, because it's about scripting today, I probably should have gone through variables. So my bad on there. But probably a good time anyway. Up here at the very start, so this is actually the name of your script that you'll be working with, and then everything inside here is the script. Don't worry about anything advanced. We're going to just keep it very simple. Yes, like you can do lots of very big additional stuff in there, but only when you're comfortable. I still stay away from it. I've got a game on Steam and I still stay away from stuff like that. So you do not need it if you are uncomfortable with coding. But if you are a programmer, that is probably stuff you 100% need to know. So cool. So there are different types of variables that you can have. We are going to have to change text here. I'm actually surprised they don't have it changed already. Because they use TextMesh Pro now. If I go back to here, we're going to set up the canvas, then I'll go back to the script. Sorry, I'm just going to jump over. Like, why is that not working? I've got the wrong mouse. There we go. Okay, cool. So we're going to make a canvas very quickly. In this one, now you need to make sure you set it up correctly. Otherwise, you're going to have issues when you build. So follow along on this one if you're watching later or if you're playing along now. And if you, right click, go down to UI. UI, and then we're going to go down to canvas. But we can actually just go straight to text on here. So where are you? Text at the top, because it's going to automatically make a canvas for us if we click that. So we don't have to go canvas then text, because to have text you must have a canvas. So easier way to do that. But if you notice here where I was mentioning Text Mesh Pro, you can go to Legacy down here, and that uses text. What's in the script at the moment. But the problem with text is that it can be really, oh God, I hate saying the word, rasterized. Oh man, I butcher that word every single time. Pixelated, very, very pixelated, whereas Text Mesh Pro allows it to be a lot sharper. So a lot less messing around and a lot more features to play with. So that's the one we want to do. And that just means tweaking the code slightly, which is a great thing that I can show you here as well. So click on Text Mesh Pro. It automatically makes an event system here for us. It automatically makes the canvas, as I mentioned. We're going to go here and say coin count. We can call it whatever we like here because the script we're working with is not looking at the name in the hierarchy. It's looking for where we declare it itself, so where we place it in the box. Coin counter. Here we go. So over in, okay, alert here popped up to go, hey, you don't have the tools for Text Mesh Pro. So we just hit import. It will add all the information we need. And then let's go import extras. Maybe they've got better font. As a weird side thing, hopefully the sound effects aren't coming through. Went to Melbourne and the hotel I was staying at. So this is the kind of size coffee cup I use. And in Melbourne, it was like a third of this size in my apartment that I was at, or the hotel room. Oh, it was painful. It was so painful. I couldn't relax because I need a giant mug. Yeah, I'm taking one with me next time. Okay, so hopping out of there. And you'll see here it's got Text Mesh Pro here, and it tells you all the little cool little features that you can have. I'll do a comparison of the legacy UI, legacy text. It gives you kind of less things to play with. And I wonder if I can actually show what's happening here. There we go. So you can see how it's a bit blurry. Now, obviously, games that use text before, they were sharp, but it's a lot more messing around. Whereas if we go to this one, nice and sharp by default, so you don't have to mess around as much. But again, that means we're going to go and tweak the code we're given. And it's going to be a great lesson because if you're looking at all tutorials that are using the old text, you know how to go and fix that. So I'm just moving location. Again, I'm not going to assume you got that knowledge with you. And actually, if I bring up the game view, I didn't do the thing I said you must do. I'll do that now before I forget. So when you add the canvas, this one is super, super important. When you add the canvas, you need to go over to the inspector, go down to canvas scaler. I don't know why it's not by default. Scale with screen size. I'm sure constant pixel size has its value, but scale with screen size means when you build, you're not going to have massive issues when the screen changes size. You'll find, so if you build it and all your buttons are all over the place off the screen, that means you haven't gone and set that canvas to scale with screen size. You will also notice here reference resolution, 800 by 600, aka 4:3. That is not what we're using. We're using 16:9. So I'm going to go 1920 by 1080. Wonderful. So you'll see this is why we need to make sure it's all the text has been jumping around a lot. This is why you need to really make sure you've got those particular settings working properly. So again, any issues, you know where to find it. So I'm just going to adjust things here. And then I'll keep it all ugly, and then I'll show you how to make it pretty later. So coins collected. It's going to go 0, 0. There we go. Okay, so this is, if we go back to count. All right, I'm going to show you a thing. This is what I do. Oh, it's private. Okay, ignore me. When it's public, I don't do the equals and a number unless it really needs to sit at a number first. I like having full control in the inspector. So technically, actually, I'm going to turn it into a public because I think that's the one. Yes. Okay, cool. Count. So when it's private, it means it's not going to be in the inspector. So if you see here, public, it's speed, count text, win text. So if we go back to here and player, where are you? Yep, speed, count text, win text. So we can go and adjust any of those values in here directly and saves us having to keep going back and forth to the script. These two here are private. I do not want to change rigid body. I could if I really, really wanted to, but I'm not going to. It's nicely set up. And again, it's physics. I'm going to glaze over physics completely in this tutorial. So anything related to that, I'm going to leave it. But count, because I'm going to be troubleshooting a lot, I want to be able to say how many coins we've got to collect before we win in the inspector, so I don't have to keep jumping back and forth. So if I go up to here, actually, no, I did the wrong. I'm confusing it. I'm so sorry. Ignore me. Ignore me. Jump ahead. Jump ahead 2 minutes. Go back. I mixed it up. We're meant to add a variable, not change that to public. All right, keep it private. We're actually going to make a new variable. This is the new one we're going to make. We're going to make it an int as well. So an integer, which is a whole number. A float is where you can have decimal places as well. So like 1.23. Int, whole numbers, and then we got other variables as well. So it's just looking for some, like, the way I think about this is that we're creating boxes. So each of these are a box, and this is what we're going to put in that box. And then we just declare what that is at a later date. Some people don't think of it that way. I do. So we're going to call it an int because we're only working with whole numbers. And I'm going to call it win count. God, I hope I'm doing this right. So yes, I am. Count is higher. Yes. Okay, cool. So where it's got 12 down here, this is where it's once we've collected 12 coins, the count. So count, which is up here, that's when I accidentally was going to put private. Actually, I'm going to do a public as well. I'm on fire. I am going to do that. I am win count and collect count. All right, so we're going to change that back to public. Sorry if I'm confusing everyone now. Win count and collect count. Okay, wonderful. So this means wherever in this script I say win count, it's going to put whatever number I said was in here. So that's going to update in a sec. So like speed, I've said 5. So if I go back into here, wherever win count is, it's going to set it to 5. Sorry, not win. So speed, the one I just showed, wherever speed is, it's going to change it to 5. But you can still adjust the number, so it doesn't always stay that number. It will adjust as you go along if you tell it to, such as count here. So collect count, we're going to go rename that. So everywhere that was count. Oh, no, that's why they wanted it. Oh, see, I'm doing it again. I'm so sorry. No, count does need to be higher. So this is what I'm declaring, and then if it, okay. As you can see, this is, so I'll say, this is a perfect example to show newbies who are brand new to programming, do not beat yourself up, because even those who have been programming for ages still make the simplest boo-boos in the world, which means you have to go back and go, oh my God, how did I do that? I've done it 1,000 times and I'm still making a simple error. Rigid body used to be my thing and static was my thing as well. So again, apologies, I did that again. It is meant to be private, and it starts at 0. And I'll tell you why and why I kept messing up. But win count definitely stays the same, and that is public. So we go down to where number 12 is. So I don't want to have to come in here and keep changing 12 if I'm changing the number of objects that I've got to collect. So I go in here, hit win count, and change 12 to win count. So now whatever we put in the inspector in Unity, it's going to replace it to that number. Now, the boo-boo I kept making is that count is meant to be on the back end, going from 0 up each time you pick up. Yeah, my brain was not processing properly on that. I was thinking, no, we're going to set the win count. No, that's what the other one is. So a little bit tired, and you make simple mistakes. So again, brand new programmers, do not beat yourself up on little mistakes. It happens. It's normal. Like, this is something I've done a bazillion times and I still made a simple mistake. So do not, I know it's still stressful at the start, but it is completely normal. Even seasoned professionals will make boo-boos. They just don't like to admit it. Okay, cool. So that's one that I have adjusted. I'm going to go back to Unity. But that's not the right button. Here we go. Okay, so over here is what I was referring to. Sorry, I'll go back to the canvas stuff in a second. So now we can actually tell it, hey, when we've collected 5 coins, that's when the canvas is going to tell us we're winning. And I go back over to here. Sorry, excuse me. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. So on trigger enter, when that game object turns off, that count one that I kept messing up, my apologies, where it starts at 0. So what it's going to do is equals, so 0 plus 1. And then when we hit the next object, so in the back end, Unity has remembered, hey, count equals 1 in relation to this script. We're not going to do global variables in this one. Count equal, so it's just going to count up for us. And then once it's gone up, it's going to go, hey, run everything that's related to the UI, which is this bit here, the count text, which we're going to change to Text Mesh Pro in a minute. Count text plus the number, but it won't display the number. It has to be turned into a string first. So again, you don't have to stress about this bit. I would say just copy paste until you're comfortable with it. If you're going to use numbers in your game that you want to make. But again, just stay with what you're comfortable and then you can move forward. This here, the if, so this again, this is why count needed to stay private. So once we've collected this many coins, if it is higher than what we had declared as the win count, it's going to, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it to game object on because, oh, no, we've already done a game object on. All right. So then we're going to change win text to say you win. Oh, yeah, we keep it empty. All right, cool. Yes. All right. So we need to change this to Text Mesh Pro so it's going to work. If I go, which means because it's got different kind of language that's involved, I'm not going to use the proper terminology here, but I like to think of it as a library, and it's got a lot of words that stores, so and function and stuff like that. In order for this script to be able to read what's happening and understand and talk to itself properly, Text Mesh Pro needs its own one there. If you don't know if it's needed, sometimes the programming tool that you're using will tell you. Otherwise, look at the package that you're using and the package will tell you. Otherwise, just do a quick Google search going, hey, I'm using this package. It's telling me it's not working. But again, TM Pro, Pro. Unity will sometimes tell you in the console as well. So I've done this a bazillion times, so I know it's TM Pro. Even though I've done it a bazillion times, I still mess up this one here. So this one I do have to Google. I don't know text mesh pro variable. This one. I didn't want this. I just wanted. Come on. Go away. Use only necessary. There are a few different ones that will work. As a beginner, I would say just use whichever one works for now. It's actually a different one I usually use, but I just want to steamroll through this. This should still work. Anyway, it's a GUI one that I use. It's got GUI in the title. Save GUI. So if I go back, it will tell me if it's not happy. Cool. Awesome. So we'll quickly tell you if it can read it or not by going over to where the little target button is. And if it shows up on here, perfect. It means I can read you and I will change things. We don't have the win text up at the moment, so we're going to go back to the canvas. You can either create a brand new text in here, or you can do what I do sometimes and just duplicate it. Because you've got most of the settings that you like already, and I just find it a lot, I say a lot quicker, and the damn thing won't come over. There we go. So I'm going to go over into the inspector, change a few things. For those jumping in, I'm speed running, so that way I'm not on here forever. Let me go. Hello. Is it Simul Shift? Apologies, I'm very bad at what is it? Saying names sometimes or words. You'll find I don't pronounce. Pronounce is the word I needed. Things correctly. I actually read somewhere that was because of like it's a different type of dyslexia. Because I got some forms of dyslexia, so I would not be surprised if it's related. There we go. All right, we're going to call this win. Oh, wait, you win. No, we're not. It's already written for us. We're going to keep that blank. Over here, we're going to call it win. All right, so the reason we're going to keep that one blank is because it's going to fill it in. Because if I put it in here, so unlike this one up here that's going to change it for us, like I can watch it here, and when it plays, it's going to automatically change. Let me check it now. I'm second guessing myself. I don't know why I just wrote week. Oh, good. I keep making boo-boos on simple. Sorry, for those on YouTube. I just got a how's it going? Like simulation. Simul shift. Cool. Yeah, it's the how you going. I keep making simple mistakes at the moment. I'm wondering if it's the heat in this room as well. But it's for brand new beginners, so who are super new to scripting, who are a little bit uncomfortable. So seasoned programmers, you may not like. Yeah. It's good. It's good. I've been working in it for a few years. I'm not a programmer, but I know some programming, enough to actually make a game. But obviously, I'm not going to make the next Baldur's Gate. It's like very simple narrative games is what I'd be making. Oh, thank you for rating as well. That is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm also somewhat new to Twitch, so I do apologize if I miss some things as well. I've played a little bit with Twitch, but I'm still following things. All right, I was going to test, wasn't I? All right, if I hit play. Yeah, so it stays. So I was right. It needed to be blank. I was second guessing myself because I made so many simple errors so far. So unlike this one, so this one here, it should automatically change for us because in the script that we had down the bottom, blah, 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 where are we? Sorry, not down the bottom. Wait, where the hell is it? On start, because it shouldn't run that yet. Where is it running? Yeah. So we haven't. Sorry, bear with me. If someone sees it, please tell me. I've lost it. What the hell? It's probably. Oh God, there it is. Oh bloody hell, you stupid idiot. This is what I was looking for. I was like, why is it running? Because like it's just down here. I missed it. So remember how I said at the very start, at start, it will run everything once. So that is why it's changing, because down here we have already told it, yo, whatever's in that text field, we're going to change it to that, plus whatever count is, we're turning it into a string. So it will display as a 0. So, or whatever number that's showing. But this, the you win, that is now empty. That will fill in with you win. So whatever I wrote, whatever's here. So I might actually do exclamation mark. So it's a little bit more exciting. This will fill in that spot. So when I hit play, you should see it. Boom. Okay, cool. So string in here. Don't forget to save. Did I just delete? What the hell? No, what did I do? Oh my God, please tell me that's saved. Where'd it go? As I said, I keep making very simple, silly mistakes at the moment. Where did you go? Player. There you are. Yes, it did. Okay, thank you. Go back up. All right, sweet. How about a play mode? I'm going to put 2 coins. So I'm just going to duplicate actually, no, I'm going to prefab it. Which means like once I'm happy with everything here, to what's there, all those details, I'm going to make a prefab copy. So it's like a file system, a box of everything that's in there. And it will stay that way if we were to drag it back into the scene. So if I go back down here to the coin, so I can either drag it into the scene or I can duplicate it in the scene. So duplicate. And now the best thing, back up a little bit. Everything's not too high. Nope, good. And this is why prefabs are awesome. That if you want to go and change a feature like, oh, I don't want it to be a trigger anymore. If you are clicked on one in here and you just untick, that means, hey, I've got to go and untick every single one. If you are just wanting to deal with one, that makes sense. Otherwise, you can do them all. And to do that, you go find the prefab that you just made. Or if you can't find it, this little arrow here allows you to open up the prefab. So now I can go in here, untick that. If I hop back out, now every single one has made that adjustment. So this is why prefabs are awesome. And the reason why that one didn't is because I messed with it. So there we go. Okay. This is why these can be cool and really good. A little bit too, so if you're brand new to it, you will make some boo-boos, but that is perfectly fine. It just comes with experience. Like the more you do it, the more boo-boos you make, the more you learn from that as well. So there's my 3 coins. I better turn the trigger back on. Sweet. So going back. Wonderful. So number up there is changing. What are you sad about now? What didn't I assign? Oh, I didn't assign the win text. There we go. All right, cool. Win text. So again, so here it alerted me. It actually pops it down here if I'm in play mode, so I know to go up and have a look. My win count here, I'm just going to adjust that to 3 because I've got 3 coins. So again, this is why I made a public variable so I can quickly change it rather than have to keep going back to the script. So now if I hit play and I click on here, so you'll just keep an eye on that text field. Bam. So it will fill that information in there. So it's actually told it in the script. Shit, don't do that. Go do this thing in the in the Unity itself. Okay, cool. So there's our cool little rollerball game. Very, very simple game to make. And so now we're going to switch into making it a very simple fetch quest and how you can make it a quick, basic little narrative game using pretty much all the same things that has happened just there. I will introduce you to a couple of extra variables in that. So keep that in mind. It's not going to be all exactly the same, but pretty much everything will be. I'm also I'm saying this because I'm going to have break in a second. I am going to also introduce you to the third-person character controller that Unity has and how you can play with that. So it has a default player who doesn't want to work right now because something's going on, and I'll fix it later. It'll work. It's just, I hate the default thing. There we go. I haven't assigned something. Ignore it. So I'll show you how to do that, but obviously we want to work with a different type of character. I've got as I mentioned at the start, I've got Cinti Pack in here, and there are characters in here. So I will show you how easy it is to switch characters. So that way you've got a Cinti character or whatever character you want. But playing with a camera is going to be a little bit more painful. I'm not going to build an environment. I am going to use one of their pre-made scenes. So I'm going to use their demo scene. Save. Yes, I do. Now, I left it pink because I wanted to show you. If you get assets from the asset store and everything is pink, that means the rendering thing is a bit off. Something's happened. The quick fix for this is some packs, those that are very nice, and it's usually a recent pack. So this one isn't a recent pack with Cinti, but the newer ones that they have, they'll have a launcher that will do everything automatically for you. But because we have to go in here and do it manually, the materials, if you click on materials, you'll see these bright pink in here. So I'm just going to go doop, 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 doop. No, don't. What did you do? Fucking. Sorry, excuse my language. Bloody duplicated half the things. Still do it, even though. Okay, cool. So you want to go to edit, rendering, and materials, and then convert selected to built-in materials to URP. So the version of Unity I'm using uses URP. So all you need to do is this, proceed. Yes, I do. And it will fix everything. The shader bit, I've got more to show. So where you got to open them up. So it changes this shader up here to URP. It does mean sometimes you need to go in and do it a lot. This time I'm not going to accidentally press that. Edit. I know there's a way to do all of them in once as well, but I can't remember. So I just do this. Think of it as therapeutic, just nice little simple clicking buttons. Some of these won't work as well, but hey, we'll just try it anyway. So likely some of their materials would just be broken completely if they haven't done an updated version. This is the downside to buying older asset packs, is that this might happen. I'm pretty sure I updated the pack anyway. Cool. I know it's still pink, but it will fix up in a sec. Proceed. There we go. All right. Well, no, I don't want that. I want to go in. Oh, don't do that. F. Come on. There we go. Okay, cool. So here's the pre-made scene that Cinti has for us. So I'm going to do a quick break for about 10-ish minutes. And then I'll come back and then we'll put a player in the scene. They can walk around and interact with objects. And we can have like a little narrative fetch quest going on using pretty much the same stuff we've just done in that rollerball tutorial. All right, so I will see you all very shortly, if I can get this going right. Okay, I've decided to return early. I said 10 minutes, but 5, and I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Okay. I did quickly change which demo I'm using. The other one was a bit too all over the place, so I've gone with this one, and we're going to use this small area here that our character will walk around in. Cool. Also, Simul, see, I'm failing again. Simul Shift, thank you so much for following. I had a quick read of messages there. Oh, I've left the music playing. 1 second. Oh, no, you guys can't hear it. Cool, sweet. I'm going to put my other music on the background. All right, cool. So, up here. Now, I'm going to create a empty game object, and I'm going to call it environment. I know they've already got one called environment there. Hang on, we'll just go environment main. There we go. And I'm just going to put absolutely everything in here. Actually, I just noticed. I think we've got interior as well. Let's have a look. Let's just ignore that. All right, cool. We'll stay where I had us. We're going to stay right here. So now I can just hide all that and not worry, and it's out the way. And this is, everything that's fleshed out there. Obviously, I want a couple of characters in the scene, but we're going to set up our player first. If we go to, so this is the one that is a bit of a mess around. I've made a prefab if I make a boo-boo and forget some things. Again, I've done this a few times, and because there's so much there, I keep forgetting certain features to have. So I'm going to create an empty object and call it player. And just for now, while we're making the player, I'm going to pop it in the very middle, which is over here. What the hell is it? God, it's so tiny. Where are you? This has me concerned. Oh God, fuck. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. This is why my stream is fun. All the silly little things that I do. In my defense, it's like 5 to 10 degrees hotter than it is outside my room. My computer is giving off so much heat. I'm going to blame that. That will make me feel better about blaming it. For now, while I sort that out, I'm just going to hide all the environment and work with my guy here. Now, if we open, actually, I'm going to pull in the other things that we need. So we also need the main camera. I'm going to put that in the player as well, and then the follow camera prefab as well. And what I need to do is also double check if there's already a camera in the scene. If there is, it's going to cause some problems. So I'm just going to do a quick search, and there are. All right, cool. So I'm going to go delete that one because I don't need it. Cool. All right. So for those playing along, if there's anything you want me to go over properly, just give me a message, like just message it, and I will do that, especially if I glaze over something that looks more like super important. In here is where we're going to replace or put our skin or our character body for the Cinti character. Where are we? Prefabs, characters. Here we go. They should have all updated. What's going on? All right, I'm just going to quickly restart Unity so it can. Nope, there we go. Didn't need to. All right, sweet. Just wanted a little bit longer too. I'm going to go with the mad scientist looking chick. There we go. She's actually meant to be a blacksmith, but she looks like a mad scientist. All right, so this here, all you need to do is drag and drop it into where geometry is. Turn off their armature base that they've got there by default. God, let's see if I can get this. Because that is what the little guy is at the moment. So I'm going to turn that off. The idea is that would unpack the prefab. Actually, we'll just unpack the prefab. So that way we can actually start deleting stuff properly. So if we right click on the main one, so player armature, go to prefab and unpack completely. So what that does is it's no longer a prefab and it's just objects. And then we can turn it back into a prefab once we're happy. So now I can go and delete armature mesh without it impacting the actual prefab. And excuse me. So there was one other thing we needed to do. So if we go back to, so at the moment, it's not going to go into. Let me put a plane down. 1 second. Plane. Here we go. Now she won't fall. Here we go. All right. So she can move, but she's not like looking too good at the moment. So we need to actually change that avatar. And the freaking mouse lock thing, I'm not a fan of it because we're going to change how the camera moves in this example. There are so many different ways you can set up the camera, but I'm just going to do it in a simple way. Player armature. So over here, where it's got avatar, armature, avatar, what we need to do is actually change it to the avatar that belongs to the Cinti pack. And in this case, it's the Fantasy Kingdom character avatar. So we just double click on that. And now, if Unity's being nice, there we go. And now it works. So that's how you very quickly are able to switch out. But as you can see, the camera's not following at the moment. So we need to make that adjustment. And this is why it gets a little bit complicated. Like you can see there's a lot going on in here. I'm going to keep it simple on what we do. I've got a pre-made prefab up, so I will still go through and go, hey, these are the settings. But because I just keep forgetting exactly where each section goes, gosh, where did I put it? Simple assets. There she is. Let's pull her in and bring that over. Okay, cool. So if I go and have a look at how I set it up in the other one. So I can actually, where is it? I think it's here. That we need to go and so cinema machine, if we go over to back to the player armature, and then down here to cinema machine, we make sure everything's hooked up. Yes, it is. I do want to change the camera angle. So that way it's, she ain't want to play with me quite well at the moment. Gosh, that's what I mean. I get so frustrated with this. Where is the... Yeah, it shouldn't be all... I hate it. Okay, it's doing it all automatically. Let me delete, so maybe it's just having difficulties realizing who. Player, follow character. Let's go player armature. Camera root. Yeah. All right, first thing I'm going to do before we do anything, because it drives me insane, down here in the starter asset inputs where it's got cursor locked and cursor input for lock, I'm going to turn them both off. So because that's just my personal preference, you can leave it on. So that's where you can have where you move the mouse is where the camera moves. But because that can get a bit you got to keep tweaking for the simplicity of this simple tutorial. I'm not going to do it. Stop being silly. Like a part of me just wants to get the prefab that I already set up, but that person follow requires a target. There we go. Okay, sweet. I want to be able to show you how everything sets up. So here it is. At least it tells us here what's missing. You need to go into player follow camera prefab and then cinema machine virtual character where it's got follow. We need to hook up the player camera root. That's what I mean. It's really, really clunky. So now if I hit play, yep. So it will follow along like this. I can go and change the field of view. So if you remember when I said earlier that we can save some information, so we're just going to tweak a couple of things here. So field of view, I usually go at least 50, and that is from my photography days. And so actually I don't need to save that. I'm happy with just 50. So I can, once we're out, I'm going to change that to 50. And then if we go back to player armature, this is where in here we can adjust. So in Cinema Machine, we can adjust angles and other positions. So, gosh, 20, beautiful, not 20, 10, 10. 10 looks nice. Is that all I needed? Was top clamp? Don't worry about that. Nope. Okay. I'm going to keep it simple because, again, I could be here forever trying to get these settings. So let's just keep it like this. Hit play. Awesome. All right. That's going to be good enough for what we're doing. So now I can go, all my bits and pieces are ready to go. So player new. And then the joke is the next one is new. Now if we turn all of this back on, and I can delete, because I've got the prefab now, I can just delete that. Go to, where was my cool location? Because I thought it looked really cool. There. Is that it? Because I wanted to show stairs as well. Oh, it looks a bit too building cluttered. Yeah, that looks a bit more open. There we go. Oh, actually, that could be even nicer. All right, I'm just going to delete them so we can see our character better. So now, in that one, if I go and pop my character in there, oh God, I was looking at the wrong thing. Again, all these very simple, silly mistakes that I keep doing. All right, cool, because the camera was actually on the other side. I probably want to pull the camera out so we can see a bit more of the space. And again, obviously, like this is probably not the best viewpoint. because we don't have the turny space, but I want the camera facing the other way. So let's go back up here. Also, just a tip for Unity over here, because obviously I don't want to keep touching the space when I'm trying to work with my player. Go over here and press the little pointer button and it locks it off. So now I can't click on anything. And can I spin her around and then she plays nice? Oh God, I should prep this better. Otherwise, I'm just going to make my own space. If it spins around, I'm going to be a bit grumpy. Beautiful. All right, sweet. This is what I wanted. And by default, it's got running as well. It should be going up, but we can fix that. Yeah. Okay, so we got a character moving around. Very, very simple. I want to solve the stair problem. Let's see why it's a problem. On Earth? Not sure. Okay. I'm going to tweak it though. So I'm going to turn off this collider. Remove. Oh, just turn it off. And then I'm going to make my own collider. Box. Okay, box collider. Yeah, no, we'll go plain. Nope. Remove. And where is this one? Here. I'm going to speed through this, but let me know if you want me to explain it a bit better. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm just creating a new collider so the player can actually walk up the stairs better than what she is at the moment, because it was using what kind of, what was it called again? A mesh collider instead of like a box collider. I find I have issues with mesh colliders a lot, so I stay away from them. So this should technically, because I'm going to actually play with this and get that cube back. Uh-oh. So because I'm just going fast with this, it's not going to be super pretty when she's running up it. Just make sure it collides with the ground better. And actually, if I put that box collider back on there. I've moved away from making a game and just level design again. I can't help it. It's just my default. And if I go, no. All right, she'll have a little bit of a hiccup, but she should at least now be able to walk up the stairs better. Come on. Yeah, here we go. And then, because I don't have the other one. All right, sweet. So this is what I tend to go and do, as well as go and fix up colliders. And we'll just turn the mesh off of the boxes in a second. It's just that way I can see it better. Whoop. Whoop. What the hell music is that I'm listening to? I'm going to put that back on. And whatever. Okay, cool. Why did you spin a bit? And then, awesome. I shouldn't need to put a collider up on that. There's already one. Okay. I think someone needs to yell at me to get off, get off doing level design stuff. It'll be worth it, I swear. Hmm. What the? Why is that collider like that? What the hell? What on earth? This is probably why there's issues. What the? What? Did that one do the same? Oh, I know what happened. God damn it. It'll be worth it. I swear. I swear. It's not so exciting to watch, sadly. Actually, let me see if mesh clutter like this actually fixes it. All right, it did. Saves me time. Delete. And turn that off. Whoop, turn that off. There we go. All right, ignore. All right, sweet. Okay. At least we got a little bit of dynamics going on. All right, I'm going to pop a character at the top of the stairs. And so who can she go and talk to? Let's do a random fairy. Why not? Wonder if she's animated. No, that would have been too awesome. Do they have effects in here? They do. What have they got? Okay. Sorry, I'm still doing it. I'm apologizing, but I'm not changing. So there we go. All right, so you need to go see the fairy to get your quest to go get a book. Let's do that. So here's the little bookshop. Spoilers. Our character will start here. And then, so we're going to create a script for the fairy. So how on the other one, it was the coin collecting was on the player controller, on the on trigger enter. What I'm actually going to do is reverse that, and the fairy is going to have it and is going to look for the player instead. So I'm going to go back and turn off environment again. Sorry, I mean lock it so I don't mess with it. Okay, I'm just going to call it Fairy, unless someone's got a cool name I can call her. And I'm just going to put that under there. Why not? And so I'm going to add a script onto her. So it's a brand new one, and I'm going to call it Fairy Quest. God, I hope this has no other meanings that I'm not aware of. Cool. All right. So I went add component, I made a name, and now I can just launch it, double click on it. So this is what we're going to see. And then, so I don't have to write everything out individually. I just need to come over here and know, okay, I'm going to work with the trigger system. So I'm just going to copy, for now, I'm just going to copy everything. So, and so it wasn't in update or anything, it was its own. The thing I know straight away that I'll change is that it's not going to be coin, it's going to look for player. And we'll come back to the, so actually I'm going to delete that now. So we don't want it to turn off. Actually, I'm going to comment it out because we do want it to do something else, but it's going to turn an object on. Count's not happening. Oh. Do people feel confident enough to do global variables? I'm going to do it. It's just a nice, simple one that you can work with. We don't have that, so I'm going to delete that. Because that is going to be a ball instead. Right. So we're creating a trigger system similar to what we had with the coins. So I'm going to click back on my fairy, and I need to put a collider on her so the player doesn't go straight through. If I go collider and capsule collider, it doesn't sit quite well on her, so we just need to edit it and cover her completely. There we go. It'll do. But we need a trigger on her as well. Where did I put? Oh, it's not meant to go on the player. I just told everyone that. Remove. I'm going to make a trigger system, but I'm going to not attach it to the fairy directly. I'm going to create a trigger box outside and then just put it near her. So I'm going to go 3D object in a cube. Wow. So obviously it doesn't need to cover her or anything. It needs to be on the ground so a player can hit it. We'll call it fairy trigger. And it's on this one that we need that script, the fairy quest script. So the box collider, if you remember before, it needs to be set to trigger. So that way the player is going to walk straight through it. And then when it hits that barrier, that's when it's going to do the thing that we want it to do. And in this case, we want it to be a dialog box from the fairy to go, hey, go do this for me. Easy. So we're gonna make a empty parent and go NPC fairy. So this is just me tidying everything up, so that way it doesn't do stuff like this. So now everything related to her. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done it that way because it's going to put it in the wrong spot. So rather than start a new empty object, I'm going to highlight the two things that I want grouped together, and then I'm going to create an empty parent. So that should sit a lot better. And then call it NPC fairy. There we go. Cool. So now I need to create my dialog box. It's going to be a very ugly dialog box, but it will give you the idea. And then time pending, because it's been 2 hours, I can show you how to just switch out the item so it looks a little bit prettier and not just default things. Because I highly recommend, I've seen people do it, and by people I mean my students, do it too often. To like having just default buttons and UI and submitting it for feedback. Good if you're just focusing on mechanics. But if you're looking at visuals and is it ready to ship, the answer is no. My recommendation, and I mean, hey, we've seen some meme games make it successfully, but unless that's what you're going for, Canvas. So UI, we actually want image, so we're going to make a text box background image this time around. So we're going to open up the canvas, spin around. And so hit 2D when working with the canvas, and it'll be a lot easier to see. Just going to turn that off so it's much easier. Actually, silly. Wait, why'd you do that? There we go. Okay, cool. So what I can do instead of turning off the entire environment, so because we kind of do like being able to see where our canvas items are in the space, in the camera space. So over here, if you're not aware, so next to the little finger point, there's the eye, and that would just turn off the visuals of everything. I'm going to do that for the player as well. So we've got a nice clear view. Okay. So back to here, and I'm going to show you bare basics of anchoring. UI and Unity is really frustrating, but keep it very simple and just where you anchor it, and you should be fine while you're starting out. So on image, you'll see this little target system over here. If you click on that, you can anchor your image in any of these sections here. Click Shift Alt to set it, and I want it to be on the bottom, and then lift it up slightly. Cool. So I'm actually going to make it black so it stands out a bit better. It's not very fairy-like, is it? Again, this is why we stay away from default stuff. Screw it. It's just let's just go dark mode. Okay. When also working with images and UI, do not use the scale. I highly recommend avoiding using scale. Actually use T and grab the little blue bits and move around there. As you see, it will adjust width and height as opposed to scale, adjusting scale down here. That can cause way too many issues. So just make sure that you're actually working with scale. Sorry, not with scale. What's it called? Transform? Rectal. Sorry, rectal. Why can't they just like that? Could have been R. Oh no, rotate should be R. All right, that's our dialog box background. Dialog box. And then say we want a portrait in there. We're not going to pop a portrait in at the moment, but just say argument's sake, we would add one. It's going to go do. Yep. And portrait. And then we want some text. All right. I'm going to keep this super, super simple as well. Time permitting, and it's maybe something that you can go and experiment with yourself. It's just going to pop up, say, please go get me a thing. And then that is it. Well, they're not going to have a conversation in this situation. Maybe when they deliver it. No, I'm not going to do it that way. If I have time at the very end, maybe I'll do it. But it's just purely pop up, do a thing, you go do the thing, come back. Thanks for doing the thing. No, not fairy. Name. Name. This is where we write fairy. And bold. Smaller. Did I do the right text? Yeah. Just looks a bit off. Hey, you. Please. Okay. Ooh. All right. So obviously, as you can see, it's gone straight down there. That's because we need to actually adjust the text window here. So the yellow one, pull that out, bring that down. But obviously, I don't want it to be that big, so we're just going to bring it down. There we go. And that is not how you spell hey. There we go. That'll do. All right. So I'm going to once again create an empty parent. Actually, no, in here I'm going to do create an empty, and then I'm going to drag them all in there. Start quest. What's wrong button? Sorry, I'm on a laptop, so my hands are not used to the way it's set up because I'm usually on my computer, on my PC for all this. We go, and then I'm just going to duplicate and then call this end quest. We turn both of those off. There we go. So if we go back to our script that we have here, we want two conditions happening. So we're going to create another variable up here. And this is where we're going to do global variables in a second as well. Here we go. Oh, gosh, what we want. No, I've set up the global variables now, so it's easier to script. Create a new folder for scripts. Now, some people love them, some people hate them. I love them because it's very, very simple to use, and I only make small games. I don't make super complicated games. So I do recommend doing it this way as well. What do you? Okay. All right. So I'm going to create. So in that folder, I'm going to create a C# script, and it's going to be called global variables. Wow. And then I open that one up. Now, it's not going to be a mono behavior at all, so we just remove that. We remove all of this. And now we're going to declare the variables that we want to be able to track. Oh, I've got to reopen that one later. Don't save. There we go. So this is one we want to be able to track across multiple scripts, and then keep that information elsewhere, because usually scripts just keep the variable information within itself. So this will allow us to be able to talk everywhere. And in this case, we're going to make, and it has to be static, and it's a bool that we are going to use. So a bool is true, false. And this is has book. Has book. So, yep, true, false. Do we have the book on us or do we not? So by default, it starts on true. So no, it doesn't. It starts on false. Sorry. By default, it starts on false, which is exactly what we want it to do because you won't have the book at the start. So I'm just going to save that. Now, to be able to get that variable to use in another script, we need to get the name of the script there. We're going to go back to, I've got to relaunch the fairy one, sorry, because I moved the location. Let's go back over here, copy. Didn't save before I did a thing. All right, here we go. All right. So, sorry, it didn't save before I did that, and that was my silly thing. So I'm just going to quickly change a couple of things. Nope, don't want that at the moment. Other game object set. Yes, we're going to do that in a second. We're going to play with it. Good. Okay, cool. So what we want to do is, actually, we're going to put the canvas in here. So that is going to be a public variable, and it's going to be a game object. So we're going to declare in the inspector what we put in there is what we're going to turn on and off. So it needs to be, the type of variable is a game object, and we're going to call it start quest. So we grab this, copy, and we remove all of other game object set active, and it's going to be true. Cool. Now, obviously, we need to make sure she doesn't have a book when doing this, because, like, what's the difference between start quest and end quest if we're going to have trigger? Sorry, like, if it's the same trigger system. Two ways to do that. You can go and put it in the same line. So if other game object player, so if we hit the player, and so double ands on that one, and global variables dot has book equals false. So that means if both we hit the player and we don't have the book, it's going to turn on the start quest dialog box. We're just going to keep it simple and do this. Now, programmers, block your ears, please. Everyone hates it, but I have issues when I go else half the time. So I very, 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 very rarely use it, and I just do another if statement. I've come across issues using else and never an issue using if. So I just do two ifs. I do several ifs. Never had a problem. Always had a problem trying to use else. So I'm doing something wrong. Again, it's been years doing programming, and still some concepts go past me. And then true. So we're just switching that one around, and this one is now going to be end quest. So we need to make sure we put end quest up there. Cool. All right. So that's all we got running at the moment. If the player collides with the fairy and doesn't have the book, they're going to dialogue box, start the quest. And we still have to do a thing. Oh, sorry, Mr. Tad. How are you doing if you're still with us? I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to making sure I've monitored the chat. the See, that threw me. Yes. So there is one extra thing that we need to do in the canvas because we've got nothing that turns off the dialog box at the moment. I'm going to make a button that will turn off the dialog box because it's super simple. I feel you there. I feel you there. It's probably where I'm going to head after this. Okay, cool. Nope, not that one. Where am I? Unity. Here we go. So we're still on here, which is fantastic. If I go back to the trigger for the fairy, we've got those two sections in there now. So this is the start quest and then the end quest. So we just drag both of those. So now the script knows which one's which. And I'm going to add the buttons to be able to turn the dialog box off, which I've got to add before. So we're just going to right click on the parent there and add a button. See, I love using buttons because they can be super, super simple to use. And again, this is going to be default ugly. So ideally, when you're making a game, you're going to make it pretty. Let's go here. And call it close. All right, cool. So make sure you clicked on button. And if you go down here to on click, let me go down. So where it's got on click under the button, you can actually run an event through there. There's lots of different events that you can choose from, but what it's really doing is you choose a game object. In this case, it's going to be the start quest because there is a component on there that we want to play with, and that is the set active that we worked with. So we want to be able to turn it off. And in this case, so if we click on here, on the start quest, there is only transform and game object information that we can work with. And so we're going to set active down here. And then unchecked box means false. So we can do a quick check here. And nice, turns off. Now you may have noticed, some of you, so it's nice to just do a quick check. We have a highlight color in the same button thing. So I do recommend that so the player gets that feedback to know that they're interacting with the button, because they're like, if you saw the example, it wasn't really that obvious. So if we go back into it, a little bit of a delay, you can see now you get that feedback that you need. Cool. All right. I don't need to make one manually for end quest. Again, I can just copy paste that one. So copy, paste, duplicate, drag and drop. We'll just do it that way. And then you just got to make sure you change it though to be end quest. And done. All right. So if we run it now, technically we should be able to, unless I've gotten something, which I would not be surprised, we should be able to get the prompt from the fairy and then close it. And then that's all we've got right now. Boom, there we go. And then close, and then off we go in search. Cool. All right. So you will notice if I go back to it. Oop. Should have made it closer. That technically we can still move around. We're gonna say for simplicity purposes at the moment. That poor fairy is so high. We're gonna leave it there unless I've got extra time, and then we can clean that up in the script as well. The way I do it in my game, it throws so many errors, but it doesn't break the game, so I just ignore them. Yeah, I probably get growlies from programmers for that, but you know what? It still works. So now we want to go get the book. So the correct one was showing from memory. I didn't actually pay attention. Pretty sure it said go get the thing. Actually, I didn't change this, did I? Yeah, silly. Thank you so much. Getting the book done. Okay, so here's our little book, and we're gonna let me do that again. Where is our player? Let's go to our player. Whoops, another one. This one. What are you doing? Ah, that's right. I turned that off, didn't I? There we go. All right, so we're going to collect a book from here, which means we need a trigger box. You know, I'm going to pull this out of this section. Please don't be a prefab. It's probably a better, easier way to do this. Oh my God, no, look how low it is. Oh, frickin' hell. Actually, yes, I'm going to do there, prefab variant. Just so this will be easier. I said, oh, delete. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. Now I can, whoops, now I can play with it better. So I'm going to add a component, and it's going to be the box collider because we're going to turn it into a trigger system. Let's try that again. There we go. So the actual collider where she can't go through is this one in the middle, and I'm just extending a new collider box here. Now, this means we need another script, and this will be collect book. New script. And if you're playing along, we're only going to have that be active if you have the book. I'm sorry, if you have already spoken to the fairy. So we're going to add another variable to say, have you spoken to the fairy? Otherwise, you'll be collecting a book before you get a chance to see her. So let me open this up. I'm going to go global variable. We've got has book, and now we're going to have public static bool met fairy. Cool. Here we go. I was meant to stay here. It's my force of habit. There we go. So it's exactly the same system that we kind of had set up. So again, we just need to copy paste. And and we just delete what we don't need. And which we don't need the false one, so we're going to change that. We're going to have actually, we don't need a variable at the moment. So this obviously isn't going to be global variables. It's going to say met fairy equals true. And if you've already clicked, it's going to be global variable equals, I've got the book now. So that's what goes in there. Actually, we'll do an alert as well. Equals true. And we're going to have book icon here. So that way the player knows. So make sure the player always has that feedback. So we're going to make sure we have another game object. So this is what I tend to do. I just turn a lot of things on and off when I first start doing some programming. And then you just clean, as you get more experience, you get better at what are stronger options and what are more optimal options. What icon is a book icon? Awesome. Save. And I'm going to go to the interwebs and get a placeholder. Book icon, transparent. Is there better ones? It's going to be perfect. Book. Yep. Okay. So let's go back to here. I'll go grab that icon and simple assets. All right, so I've got an icon picture that I'm like, I want this to be what's in the corner. I found an image online. It is not ready to use just yet. You need to click on it. And then over in the inspector where it's got texture type, we need to switch it to sprite, 2D and UI, and then we can start using it. But we have to hit apply. You'll notice it will change. It should change. Better have a PNG. Doesn't matter if it's ugly, it's ugly. It's placeholder. Cool. So going back to our canvas. Oh, sorry, I'm just reshuffling music. Where are we? So I want another image in here, UI image. This one's got book icon. Why did I attach that book icon script? Did I put that in a dumb place? Oh, it's on the book thing. Okay, my bad. I didn't. All right, cool. Again, having a moment. It's very warm in this room. No, don't need anything there. Don't need anything there. All right, cool. So now this is an image. So I can just drag source image, grab that, drag it on. Perfect. There we go. And I'm just going to locate it like up here in the top. Make it smaller. So at the moment, you'll see it can do this. There is a beautiful checkbox that we can do, which is over here, preserve aspect ratio. So then it will go, that was a terrible way to show you, but it will stay what it's supposed to be. There is use with either one, so it kind of depends on what you're doing as to which one will fit better. Let's then go to that needs to be off. Go back to our script. What? See, error popped up. Where's my console? How did that de-dock again? There we go. All right, cool. An alert popped up to say I made a boo-boo in the script, and which I did. I forgot to put that there. Book icon, set active, true. Book icon, set active, true. If met fairy true, then this should be possible to happen. So let's go back, make sure we hook up the, where did I put it? There. Here it is. You still, did I not save? There's nothing. Yeah, it's just that one. What now? 25. Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. It's just meant to be 1 equals. That's why you got to be careful copy pasting. Bookstall. It's better to easier to find. So my book icon goes in there. So let's give it a quick go. See if it's ready. So at the moment, it's not doing anything. Received Fairy. She says, hey, get me a book. Let's go back. What have I not done? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change what I did there. Sometimes I do have issues doing it that way. Let's go. My brain is thinking at the same time to try and figure out what. Go collect book script. Okay. Okay, not working, which is good. Oop. I delete those things. Maybe it's not setting the variables properly. What have I done? What have I done? Oh. I haven't set the variable. Let's put that on there. Let's go back. There we go. Net vary. Save. Cool. All right, this should work. Or did I forget the thing? No, good. It was there. go close. Hey, we got the book. Thank you so much for getting the book. There we go. Very simple fetch quest. Actually, we put in there that the icon should disappear. We can flesh that out a little bit more if people would like to see that. So give me a quick, let me know if you want me to go further and because I can definitely do that. And then, so end quest. Has book. No. Yeah. Okay, that's what I want. And then icon needs to turn off. Which means we need to do this one and the other one. So this is why you can also do it all under that's very all under just player, but I like to separate them because it's less cluttered and I make multiple scripts instead of one giant script. Okay. Okay, that should solve that problem. Well, it's only been 4.5 hours. Apparently the internet is still unstable, but looks okay. Get the book. Yes, I can. Okay, yeah, I'll flash out a little bit. Got the book because especially we want more control in collecting the book. Thank you so much for getting the book. I didn't set the thing. All right. Silly me. Where is this one is on the ferry, which is this one. I didn't set the book icon, but I realized there is a better place to do that. And that is on close in the thing rather than in the script. So delete that and that. Go back and I'm going to put it on the close button instead. All right, so on this one with the end quest, I'm going to put it here that it's going to turn the book icon off. Whoop, not that one. But you need to make sure that it is above the end quest there because it's top down. So if we turn off the object holding the script, it's not going to read anything else. So just make sure that it's a bit higher. Sorry, not a bit, that it is above. There we go. So get me a book. Yes, I can. Got the book. Boom. Exactly the same stuff as the rollerball tutorial. We just tweaked things very, very slightly. So if we go back to the scripts, the set active true and false is still there. And it's exactly the same. The only things we've added is a global variable to be able to track things across scripts. But yeah, exactly the same thing. And we're not using that player controller anymore. So we only made a couple of extra scripts, and we're just using packs for everything else. So someone else has gone through all the trouble to make the character controller. We don't have to worry about that, other than setting it up. So this is why this one is set up so simply. What I might do anyway is just fumble through fixing up the collect the book thing. So instead of the book icon immediately automatically turning on, what I might do is that you get to choose books. So I got this in my game. Very, very simple to do. And that way it's a little bit more interactive for the player and they feel like they've got more control. So go back to the canvas. Oh, it keeps doing it in that direction. And where's the player? I just had a mind blank. Empty book. Actually, I'm going to make that. And then so again, this is going to look very default. I will say this is not how I implemented it in my game. This is how I first started playing with it. If you happen to stumble across all the Game Jam games I did, I was always practicing and improving how I did a journal. So this is pretty much how I'm doing it at the moment, is how I kind of started. Nice and simple, get the idea point across. Prototypes are my jam. I love it. Another shout out to the Level Her Up Game Jam that's next weekend. I keep looking down there and I should be looking at the camera. Sorry. Look down there because that's where the chat is. Women and non-binary from Australia. So it's being held in person in WA, but you'll need to register for both. You need to register online, but you can also join in online. You just need to jump into the Level Her Up Discord. I do believe I had linked. Let me scroll up and double check. Do believe I had linked their website. Yes, I've got their website at the top if you want to go have a look see. I'm a mentor there, so it's awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. Duplicate. So many passionate people that want to make games, and I love it. Let's go top. Take off that. And is the right one? Yes, it is. Latin placeholder. Copy. So I will add for those that have played my game. I 100% agree with you. The text is too small. We are going to be incorporating the accessibility where you can scale. Hopefully we can still incorporate that. Otherwise everything's going to be made bigger. It's just at this stage we're still trying to finalize a few things. So it's kind of, we'd hate to like restructure something to find out we have to change it all again and then restructure everything again. So we're just waiting until we've nailed down exactly how things are. And then we can do it. And I'm bringing that up because here you'll notice the text is probably not going to be so legible, or it's not so pretty. You got to do a lot of fiddling around too, so you can do line. And this is why TextMesh Pro is really good. Cool. We'll pretend that's it. There we go. All right. So you can read the book before you collect it, and then. So this is how narrative, you can start building a narrative even more in your worlds. So for those that joined afterwards, this is, I think I've got it in the description anyway, turning that rollerball tutorial into a narrative game, a very simple narrative game. So you'll be doing environmental storytelling. I've used the demo that Cinti had already for the environment, so I didn't have to play with that. But there are a lot of assets online that you can get for free, so you don't have to go fork out heaps of money at the start. I do like Cinti because it's very simple to use, but the more you play with Cinti, the more you can pick it out a mile away, and that's not a bad thing. But it's very good for devs. It's very simple. Sometimes they do sales with Humble Bundle, but do check Humble Bundle for a lot of good deals. Otherwise, there's a bunch of free assets that you can use while you're starting out. But if you want to make a game to make money, it's better to actually invest. You don't have to fork out heaps and heaps of money, but it's better to get avoid too much of an asset flip game. What was that? I was after a button. Sorry, that was a side chat. UI button. There we go. And then we're going to call that collect. And then collect book. We don't want it to be that big. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. That's why. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to change orange. Text. It's not perfect, but the idea is there. Then highlight. Go. All right. So we're just going to do a quick check, make sure that book is highlighting. So it's like registering it. Sorry, the button. Perfect. All right. Now that button just needs to turn itself off, pretty much. So add book. Actually, I'm going to show you a different way. So let's go have a look at the scripts we've got active at the moment. On the collect books one, we're going to add a brand new function. And this function is going to be, we're going to get the button to run this function. So it needs to be public. So that way everything outside of it can actually read it as well. Void for function. And close book. No, collect book. Sorry, collect book. All right. So this is how it needs to look when setting up your own function. And then you put everything that you want inside there. And in this case, we want to run a global variable. No, what do we want to do? Gosh, why was I doing this? Let's go back. Oh, my memory's been so bad. Oh, yes, collect book. That's what we need. Cool. All All right, so the global variable, this is why I was getting here. We're going to take it from here and pop it in here. And it's not a book icon anymore. It's going to be an open book. That we're going to be turning on. So now when the player hits it, when they've met the fairy, we're going to open up the book. We're going to run this function once we hit the close or collect book button, and that is now we've got the book. So we're setting that to true. So save. The other things we need to do, we'll just do it in the button one, button thing itself. Oh, what do you want? Can't be the same. 31. Oh, I've used the name twice. Where have I put it? Book. Oh, okay. My bad. Because the script's called collect book. Collect book now. There we go. Solved. If I say problem solved, does that ring a bell to anyone? Or does that show how old I am? What do I want? Fairy quest. No, I want to go back in here because we're ready to check it all. Okay, cool. So we got to run two things. One was on the fairy trigger. No, it should be on the book trigger, unless I made a boo-boo. Where is it? That one? I think I did put it in the wrong one, didn't I? No, there it is, collect book. So we're going on that script and collect book now. So I'll go through that again. Book stall. I thought I already did that. And then parent book stall. There we go. Okay, cool. So on the trigger collider, where I've got the collect book, open book, it's going to be this one here. Chuck that on there. So collect book script, and that is where the collect book now function is holding. So if I go over to here, where I've already dragged that over, if I go to hit function, so this is on the button, go to function and collect book. So there's the script, and it will tell you where the function is here, and it's collect book now. So now when I click the button, it's going to run that function that we just created in that script. And what we also want to do is then turn the book off. Done. All right, cool. So I'm going to save, going to turn the book off. Actually, it should be practically almost done. So I'm going to, at the moment, it's got play focused. I'm going to go super maximized this time. There we go. All right, cool. Oh, test. Cool. Did I do the thing I said we should do? I forgot to do the thing. All right, that's going to be annoying. Yeah. For those who've been playing from the start, you know what I've just done, if you remember. All right, cool. That's done, and I didn't turn the icon on. Got to do that, so we'll fix that up. Thank you so much for getting the book. Okay, so I forgot to set up the canvas properly, which is going to be annoying because that means I've got to reset everything else. So on the canvas, it was not meant to be pixel size. We need to change it to scale with screen size. And then reset it here, 1920 by 1080. Cool. All right, sweet. I say, but now I've got to fix everything. Which means I'm going to delete that. This is why you got to try and remember it sooner rather than later, because otherwise it gets really annoying. Hello. Is it Skazi? I'm sorry if I butchered that. Or is it the C pronounced with a K or a S? Sazi? Oh, oh, sorry. Doing the S's and the C's. Oh, skeezy. I'll probably butchered it again. Skeezy? Or skyzy? Oh, I tried. I'm so sorry. I tried. I really tried. Okay, so that's that one for the start. And thank you for following. I thought I had alerts on, but it doesn't sound like alerts are on. So apologies if I miss them. Awesome. Cheers. Yeah, come hang out with I will admit we're all lurkers, but I'm also a Discord lurker, so I'm all good for the lurking, but I'm also all good for the chatting. What am I after? End quest. So just got to make sure I change all the bits. Thank you for getting the book done. And which ones was it on? It was on the ferry. Ferry trigger. Start quest, end quest. Awesome, done. I forgot to set up the book icon, which is why that wasn't showing properly. And by properly, I mean at all. Go. The book. We need to fix the book. Is this going to work if I do it this way? Like a part of me wants to break the rule that I said don't do. But I'll be good. I'll be good. I won't start bad habits for other people. Title, content. Go. Collect. Okay, cool. So the thing that I forgot, was to put book icon on. So public game object, book icon, and collect book now. Yep. Book icon dot set active. True. Whoop, true. Why did I do it that way? No, I'm going to do it that way as well. So, because I showed you how you can do it with the button, and then I'll go back and show you how. So it's really, you can do it either way. You can either do it via button or via, actually, the button makes more sense because you're reading the book. Oh, does it really matter at this stage? It's a prototype. It's my defense. It's a prototype. Cool. And then we go back to bookstall. That's on there. Collect. Over here, book icon, which is there. Whoops, not that one, and on. Let's turn them all off and see how this goes. What is this? Oh, so this is just a tutorial. So question for YouTube people, because again, I don't have it up on the screen. I've got to figure out how to do that. This one, what I'm doing today is just a tutorial on how to turn the rollerball, Unity's rollerball game tutorial into a narrative quest of your choice, and how the same scripting techniques in there can come over into your game. I keep looking down here again. My apologies. Up here. And how you can quickly and easily turn it into a narrative-based game or a fetch quest. In this case, it's a fetch quest, a simple fetch quest game. No real proper narrative, just more of a tutorial, so other people who aren't necessarily super programmer savvy are able to start making their own games. I did start this with expectations that people had already opened up Unity and understood the UI, but I'd done a very beginner level. Beginner level kind of entry point. So for the programmers in the room who may have just joined again, you won't like how I talk about programming, as in I do very simple terms. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're super popular, I will say. Hyper casual mobile games, very, very popular. Sometimes you just want to relax and although I would say keep the file sizes low. There's one game and I'll like walk away for an hour while it's still downloading. I still haven't installed it because my phone keeps falling asleep. Wait, why? What's wrong? Oh, okay, my bad. Come up. Yes, I know. Where is I didn't hit control. How far into your game have you got? Is it nearing playtesting time, or is it still in the concepty prototypey phase? Well, not a little bit more than concept. Turn that off. All right. Let's see how this goes. All right. So quickly test. Good. Not working. Sweet. Yep. Sure, I can do that. Bam. Collect the book. Collect the book. What's wrong now? All right, let's have a look. Collect book stall. Yeah, collect book now. So what have I got it doing at that point then? Up here, silly. So collect book now. Oh, I turned that off. But still, has book equals true. That's all you should be doing. Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Yes. I have not done leaderboards yet. Like, haven't experimented with leaderboards, but I've experimented with personal high scores. And then that was when I was playing with that, but now my current game doesn't have high scores, so I haven't gone back to going behind. But what on earth? The variable book icon. Did that just fix it? Oh gosh, what have I done? What have I done? Okay, no errors throwing. Actually, I'm going to go back. I'm going to hop out of maximized. That's pretty cool. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure you'll do fine. I'm sure you'll do fine. All right, what is going on? Was I not collecting a variable before, or maybe I just fixed it? Maybe that happened. Maybe I didn't hit save properly. Close. All right. Oh, what's happening with that camera? Oh, it's hitting the pillars. All right, cool. I'll destroy the pillars in a second. Collectible. There we go. And close. Go back. Oh, that's right, because I had to redo that. All right, sweet. End quest, book icon off. Oops. Okay, cool. So that's fixed. I want to potentially do last thing, and that is pause the player while they're talking. And trying to remember the best way to do that. I feel like I'm gonna be sneaky and jump into my other game to remember how I do that. Oh gosh, what's the script called? Dialog box. Is it? Dialog tracking, dialog manager. What? That's not right. Here's a perfect example. Sometimes you forget a script, so you got to go to another project. I'm just going to launch my game once. That'll take a couple of minutes. Just panicked because my stream deck is telling me the be right back is up. And I'm like, but it does, yeah. As you can see, I'm not a avid streamer. I'm still learning. It's gonna take a bit. Who did that? Oh, cool. Sweet, sweet. And go here. Oops. Sorry, it's being so slow. Hang on, let me bring it up so you can. Let me move it over. No. Oh, there we go. All right. So here's my other game. So this is me going to go into here and steal the code that I used to pause her. And this isn't like hidden kind of stuff. I do like it's been a while since I've done dev streams, but I've done them before. Okay, so how do I do it then? Maybe it's the UI one instead. I think it is. All right. Let's go find that. I think it's on the canvas, key bindings. Ugh. There it is. took me forever to find how to do this, but the other thing is that it's forever. It took me a lot of messing around to figure out to do that, but it throws a lot of errors. So probably not ideal way to do it, but it's effective. If I want it for dialogue pop up, where's the? Oh yeah, that's for both. Pretty sure that's how it's meant to be. Let me go back to. God, it's been so long since I've done some of this. Okay, cool. That is correct. Then I need this. Wow. Oh, did I do it on that one? So this will be one of those, if you want to do this exact way, I would just copy what I'm doing because like I can explain what it does, but and then I'm going to run the public void start walking. What am I doing? Don't do it on that. I'm going to do that one on the player. Wait, player doesn't have one. All right, I'm going to pop it here. Why not? Start walking. It's not correct. Start walking, and I want that. And true. Again, this is going to look really ugly, but it works. So we're making at least a simple game or a prototype. This is going to be super, super effective to get your idea across. And then you just polish as you go along and you start feeling comfortable and get more confident. So go back to here. And it's on the fairy one, wasn't it? Nope. It's on the book one. Nope. Did it? Oh, through an error. That's why I play. Oh, of course. I forgot. I was supposed to bring this over. Like books. Nope. All right, cool. So because we're playing with the input systems now, I needed to add that extra namespace / library. Let's go back. And that should work now. Okay, go back to, here we go. And I've got to make sure it's the right part of the player, which is this one. Okay. And I've got to, on those buttons, and that one, add, chuck it up there, cancel. It's on the fairy one. So I've highlighted all three so I can get all three in one go, and then I just got to rearrange once I've done that. Although I messed up. Did I? Or is it there? I'll start walking. There it is. Okay, cool. Sweet. So I'll hop out and just make sure it's. I'll put that there, whatever. And button. Perfect. Oh, it's like it put it in the perfect spot for me. Nope, that needs to go up. Awesome. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, cool. Sure. That didn't work. Did I hook up the player? Wait, did I put it on that one? Oh, I didn't put it on the other one. Did it stop at the ferry? Because I realized I didn't do it on this one. I did stop at the ferry. Cool. I've just got to add it to the book section. Oh, I should have done. So this little bit here, space and the number, is what helps break it up in the inspector so it's not all squished together. And you can do headings as well. So I've got in here that you can do headers so you can actually write down, as in visually see better. So if I go in here, you can see it's all split up and there's nice little headings rather than all just this massive list. So do recommend that. That's super awesome. And just need this one. Save. No errors, please. Perfect. Bookstore. Player. Oop, why didn't that turn on? Collect. Okay, I've accidentally got that twice. So that is actually meant to be book icon. On. There we go. Ugh. Welcome to game dev. You got to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Cool. Perfect. There we go. You win the game. And then that's it. Or you finish the story is probably the more accurate term. So the camera bumping that you may have seen, I can fix that very quickly as long as I can get there properly. Oh, God. No, where's my player? Where's my player? Scroll out to these bloody things here. All right, so let me delete delete. Cool. Oh, all right, so that should solve the shaking problem. Solved. Done. All right, cool. So there you go, rollerball tutorial as a fetch quest. Very, very simple. And then you just flesh out your world. So this is for narrative-based games. Like obviously you can tweak and play with it in different ways, but you could literally have the character just walking around, interacting with spaces, have information provided. It is a great way to start with game deving. So do start small, practice small, and then just build and build and build upon that as you go along. So as you may have, if you've been here the whole time, you'll see errors still happen. Like simple mistakes are normal. I am so prone to them, which is what like I could literally lose a whole hour's work because I missed one little thing, and that is completely normal. Um, Seasoned professionals happens to them too. So do not beat yourself up if you got one thing a little bit wrong, or you miss something super simple. It is normal. Just want to stress that a lot. It is like anything that you learn straight away. Well, not straight away, but anything you learn for the first time is going to be stressful. It's going to be a lot, but if you pursue it and keep going at it and trying, it will get easier. As a So because this is all about learning, my personal experiences when I was doing my undergrad, learning Maya for the first time. Oh my God. I was in the fetal position every few weeks, rocking backwards and forwards in tears, trying to learn how to use this program. Now I know how to use the program and I love it. I haven't 3D modeled in a while, but I absolutely love 3D modeling. It was stressful to learn, but once I learned it, it was so much fun. Um, and Unity, the quickest way I learned was I was playing with I don't know if tilt brush is still a thing now, but there was a plugin for tilt brush that you could use for Unity. So you could take your whatever you create in tilt brush and bring it in. And it wasn't official, so it was something on GitHub that someone had made, and it would very easily break. And the first time I implemented it or got it working, it was like 2 to 3 hours to get it all hooked up. And because it kept breaking, I got it down to about 15 minutes. And that helped me learn Unity so much. And then it was just a bunch of game jams. Like, I don't know if, because again, I'm highlighting game jam that's happening next week with Level Her Up. I'll do a example of before I started my current game. Yeah. This is only some of my game jams. Actually, I should go to the other one. No, do I have them all in there? I have heaps, and a lot of these are solo. So this one I was in a group. This one I was in a group. This was solo. Yeah, all the others were solo, and a lot of them was like I will admit a couple of these, which some of you may point out, they used old AI when it first came out, and I was questioning, do I get rid of it? And a part of me was like, it feels like I'm erasing history and the choices I made at that time compared to now. So I was a bit hesitant to do it because now I don't use, for anything I publish, I definitely don't use it. But I also don't want to erase history because I'm a big believer in you shouldn't do that because otherwise, how do we learn? And at least I can reflect back. Um, but Yeah, so this is not all my game jams. These are my what I've done at uni, as part of this uni, and like this is a VR project that's online, and that one all myself as well. I got, I think, someone to help out with the audio a little bit. Um, Let me see if the full collection's on here. It's like, because what I'm trying to show is that, oh, did I hide them all? Nope, there they are. Okay, cool. Big shout out to Kate if you're still on here. Is it Toast? Awesome game. We should do something with it. Um, but yeah, it's one of those, like, if you play some of mine, you'll see the journal pops up quite a lot and a library pops up quite a lot. It's kind of like, or museum, both. It's usually what I've got in a lot of the time. But this is how I learned, and now I've got games on Steam. So it's like you don't wake up knowing this stuff. If you look at the time periods, like 2018, 2020, and you'll notice it kind of stops and slows down here, and that's because 2021, late 2021 was when I was, wait, what is that? 22, working on the game. So 23, I just had zero time to jump in it. So I've had a bit of an itch, which is why I'm looking forward to next weekend. I'm going to try and squeeze it in while working with, while mentoring some other people and helping them. But yes, so for those that want to learn, yes, you won't wake up and know it. The number of people who have come to me and not asking for advice and wanting to hear something other than you need to keep doing it, is surprising. So this is why I keep saying it over and over again. It requires hard work. You need to actually keep doing it and trying. I repeated again, as I say, like if you play any of these, you'll see the same mechanics done over and over. And it's me getting used to developing it, this particular thing. How can I improve that? Is there another way? And then just build from there. Um, but yeah, I'm always happy to give advice. I do have the Discord channel, and I have a section for game development in particular. So for those that don't know, I'm also a game design teacher, a lecturer, and I've recently started up my studio for my game on Steam. So yes, so I'm always super happy to help because I really want to stress to people that you don't have to be super programmer savvy in order to make a game. And that's what this was for today. So it was a very nice, quick rundown. Quick being 3.5 hours. Is that 3.5? Yep, 3.5 hours. And we made a very simple little game right after we did the rollerball tutorial. So yes, hopefully that was helpful. If anyone's got any quick questions before I sign off, otherwise I might sign off this session. And the VOD should be available later tonight for anyone that wants to give it a go. Oh, give it a watch and give it a go. Hopefully that was helpful. I know there can be delays, but awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. And yeah, I will probably, feel free to join in next time. I probably won't be I will be streaming sometime next week, but I don't know where. I've stopped scheduling because some things can come up last minute. So I do ad hoc now, until I can get to a point where I can actually do a proper schedule. But yeah, just I would say sign up for alerts if you would like to jump in live. Otherwise, yeah, check in every now and then. Cool. All right. Thanks heaps. I will chat to you. Well, possibly, hopefully, chat to you all soon. All right. See ya.